Welcome to Learn English Through Stories, where every story teaches and every word matters. Learn English. Live the story. Let's begin.
It happened on a Tuesday. Not a special day, not a birthday or a holiday. Just a normal Tuesday. I was walking home from school. Same route I always took. Past the bookstore, past the bakery with the weird plastic fruit in the window, past the alley shortcut I wasn't really supposed to use. That's when I saw her. Across the street. She had my face. Same eyes. Same hair. Same awkward posture I always tried to fix whenever I passed mirrors. At first I thought it was just a trick, maybe a reflection, or someone who kind of looked like me from a distance. But then she looked up, right at me, and I froze, because that wasn't kind of my face. It was exactly my face, and whoever she was, she knew it too. Her eyes widened. Then she turned and disappeared down the side street. I didn't move for maybe 5 whole seconds. Then, without thinking, I ran. I turned the corner. Empty. Gone. I searched for a few minutes, heart racing, but the alley was completely clear. I even checked behind the bins. Nothing. By the time I got home, my hands were shaking. I couldn't explain it. I didn't even try. Because let's be honest, if I told someone, they'd think I was off my rocker. So I said nothing. Not to my mom, not to my friends, not even to myself out loud. I just tried to shake it off. But that night, when I stood in front of the bathroom mirror brushing my teeth, I couldn't stop thinking, if that wasn't me, then who was it? The next morning, I tried to convince myself it didn't happen, that maybe I was tired. Maybe I saw someone who just looked like me, that I'd imagined the whole thing. But the truth? That image, my own face looking back at me from across the street, was burned into my brain. At school, I barely heard a word the teachers said. My mind was on repeat. The eyes, the turn, the disappearance. By lunch, I gave up pretending to be fine. I pulled out my phone and opened the local subreddit, the one where people posted lost cats, restaurant reviews, weird sightings. I typed, "Weird question. Has anyone else seen someone who looks exactly like them around town?" I hit post. Within 5 minutes, someone replied, "Ever heard of a doppelganger? Creepy stuff." Another comment. "There's this girl who looks just like me in another school. My cousin swore she saw us in the same cafe once. Gave her the chills." I scrolled for a while, feeling more confused than comforted. Then I saw it. A post, 3 months old. Captioned, "Spotted in Midtown. Anyone know this girl?" Thought it was my friend's sister, but nope. The photo was blurry, taken from the side. But the person in the image had my jacket. My jacket. The one with the missing zipper and the paint stain on the left cuff. I leaned in, heart pounding. There was no doubt. That was me. Except, it wasn't. And just like that, my brain went into overdrive. Questions, theories, possibilities I wasn't ready to believe. Maybe it was someone messing with me. Or maybe it was something else. I saved the post. And for the first time, I knew I had to find this person, whoever they were. The photo wouldn't leave me alone. I zoomed in 100 times. Checked the background, the street signs, the shadow angle. Then I cross-referenced it with Google Street View until I found the exact spot. It was near Midtown Station, just 10 minutes from my house. So the next day after school, I went. I told my mom I had extra homework. I told my friends I had a headache. But really, I just wanted to get to the bottom of it. The corner looked the same as in the photo. Brick wall, bike rack, coffee shop. I stood there for half an hour, just watching. Nothing. Then, as I was about to give up, someone walked out of the coffee shop. Same height, same messy hair, wearing a hoodie I had at home. And they saw me. Our eyes locked, their face twisted into something between fear and recognition, the kind of look you make when you realize you're not looking in a mirror. They froze. I took a step forward, and just like the first time, they ran. But this time, I was ready. I followed them across the crosswalk, through a side alley, past an old parking garage. They were fast, but I was desperate. I turned a corner and found nothing but a row of dumpsters. Gone. Again. I stood there, completely out of breath. My legs were shaking, and for the first time I felt something I hadn't expected. Anger. Not fear, not shock. Anger. Because whoever this person was, they knew more than I did. And they were playing games with me. I sat down on a low wall and stared at the ground. That's when I noticed something. On the pavement, a scrap of paper folded once. I picked it up. 4 words were written in sharp, messy handwriting. Stop looking for me. I should have walked away. That's what a normal person would do. But the note, stop looking for me, did the opposite of what it asked. It made me want answers more than ever. Who leaves a note like that? Who runs away from someone who looks like them? Unless they're hiding something. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, my mind running in circles. Every theory sounded crazier than the last. A long-lost sibling. A prank. A hallucination. But deep down, I knew it wasn't fake. It was too specific. Too real. The next morning, I printed the photo again. The one from Reddit. And I did something I hadn't done before. I showed it to my mom. She stared at it for a long time. Didn't blink. Didn't speak. Then she said too quickly, "That's not you." I shook my head. She looked again. Then her face changed. Just a flicker. A moment of something strange. Like she'd seen a ghost. "I don't know who that is," she said. But I didn't believe her. Not because she was lying, but because she wasn't meeting my eyes. I wanted to push. But something told me not yet. Instead, I went up to my room, shut the door, and sat at my desk. The note was still in my pocket. I unfolded it again. Stop looking for me. Too late. I opened a blank page in my notebook and wrote at the top, "What if I'm not the original?" I stared at it for a long time. And just like that, everything I believed about myself started to wobble. My memories, my story, everything. I didn't plan what I was going to say. I just found myself standing in front of the train station 3 days later. Same time the photo was taken. Same street corner. And somehow, she was there, leaning against the wall like she'd been waiting. She didn't run this time. I walked up, heart pounding so hard I thought I might pass out on the spot. She looked tired, not dangerous, not angry, just tired. "Who are you?" I asked. She didn't answer right away. Instead, she reached into her backpack and pulled out an old envelope. Worn edges, yellowed corners. She handed it to me. "I think we're sisters," she said. "I think we were separated a long time ago." I didn't speak. Couldn't. I found out by accident. A clinic mixed up some paperwork. I saw your name, your school, your photo on a newsletter. My hands were shaking as I opened the envelope. Inside, 2 birth certificates. One name I recognized, one I didn't. Same birth date, different locations, everything blurred. I sat down on the bench behind me. She sat too, like we were 2 kids in detention, waiting for someone to tell us what to do next. Finally, I whispered, "Why didn't you just say something?" She shrugged. "Would you have believed me?" Fair point. I laughed, not because it was funny, but because the whole thing had finally come to a head. I looked over at her. She really did look just like me, but not in a mirror way. She looked like someone who had also been carrying questions his whole life. Someone who had also felt unfinished. "I guess we're not strangers anymore," I said. She smiled. Not completely. I didn't tell anyone right away. Not my friends, not my mom, not even my journal. Some truths are like earthquakes. They shake you to your core, and you need time to stand back up. She and I didn't become best friends overnight. We didn't switch places. We didn't pull any pranks. Real life doesn't work that way. But we did meet for coffee once a week after that. And every time, we filled in a little more of the blank space between us. Same laugh, same crooked front tooth, different lives. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if we'd never seen each other that day. Would we still be walking around, never knowing the truth? Or maybe some truths are like magnets. They find their way eventually, even if it takes a wrong turn, or a blurry photo, or someone who refuses to stop looking. A few weeks later, I wrote a letter. To myself. To the version of me that was scared. That thought she was going crazy. That didn't know what was real. I wrote, "You're not broken. You're not imagining things. You're just standing in front of a truth bigger than you. And sometimes, the only way out is through." Then I folded the paper, slipped it into the back of my notebook, and closed it. Not to forget, but to remember how far I'd come. Because in the end, this wasn't just about the girl who looked like me. It was about finding the piece of me I didn't know was missing.
Key idioms you learned. Off one's rocker, acting crazy or irrational. Shake it off, let go of stress or stop thinking about something negative. Burned into one's brain, deeply remembered and impossible to forget. Go into overdrive, start working or thinking very intensely. Get to the bottom of it, discover the real cause or truth behind something. Play games with someone, be dishonest or manipulative with someone. Run in circles, overthink something without reaching a conclusion. Come to a head, reach a point where something must be dealt with. Shake someone to their core, deeply disturb or emotionally impact someone. Useful expressions and phrases. I tried to convince myself. Internal conflict or denial. The note did the opposite. Irony or unexpected motivation. My mind went into overdrive. Describes mental overwhelm or obsession. He looked like someone who. Emotional comparison and reflection. Some truths are like earthquakes. Metaphor for life-changing realizations. The only way out is through. Personal growth and emotional endurance. Thanks for watching this episode from Learn English Through Stories. If you learned a new expression or idiom today, give this video a like. Leave a comment to share your favorite part or what you'd like to learn next. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a new story. See you in the next one.